I guess I'm asking you how your morning was. Mine's already been fairly busy with emails back and forth that I would typically not do. But it's not, of course, what's happening to us. It's how we're receiving it. And to that end, there's a story about an American professor who goes to Japan to visit a Zen master. He says to the Zen master, after he's allowed into the room, he says, "I'd really like to study with you. I want to become enlightened." And the Zen master said nothing. He began to pour tea into the professor's cup, and he kept pouring and pouring until it was spilling out of the cup. And of course, the professor said, "Hey, wait, stop, it's spilling." And the Zen master said, "You have to empty your cup." And the story relates to the idea that we have a lot of thoughts, ideas, and concepts that keep us attached, that limit us in ways we're probably not aware of. It's completely normal. It's human. And it creates a lot of strife and struggle in our lives. There's the flip side of this too, where something happened a few nights ago where I got a phone call from someone who was extremely angry, former brother-in-law. And he said, "Don't speak. I'm just going to tell you something and then I'm never going to talk to you again."
Wow.
I'm laughing about it now. At the time, it was like, wow, what? So he went on, and he was super angry, super upset about something. I eventually actually just needed to end the conversation. I said nothing, but I hung up the phone because it wasn't going to go anywhere, and I knew he wouldn't be open to hearing anything. This is the flip side, is that I now I was with that anger, that disturbance, those limiting ideas that I fortunately and thankfully, because of a practice called meditation, whether it's Zen, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's a body scan, doesn't matter, they all help us to go beyond our limiting ideas and concepts about what I think, about what just happened. It's a skill that we can all develop. And it reminds me also of a body of work that's called The Work by Byron Katie. It's possible that some of you have heard of it. If you haven't, it's certainly some work that I recommend as a way of helping us move beyond our limiting thoughts. And to that end, she has 4 questions that she asks. The first one is it true? And the next question is, well, is it absolutely true? And of course, if something's absolutely true in our mind, we're going to have a reaction to that. And I know the final question, because I don't want to get lost in us thinking about things, was, well, who would I be if I didn't have that thought? That in itself is almost a life-changing, it can be a life-changing question and opportunity to review and open our minds up to the idea that many of our thoughts and ideas, I know I'm repeating that word, perhaps are not based in logic or what is true today. We've carried them with us from our past. And as I said, and I believe this is true for myself, is that if I'm stuck with an idea about an interpretation of something, it's going to limit my ability to have a fully open-ended, minded opportunity to stay in relationship and to learn from something that may have been disturbing, upsetting, unnerving. In fact, I picked up a little poem when I was paying a parking ticket. Once I saw it on the wall of the little kiosk where I was paying that parking ticket in downtown Toronto. And this is what it was. It said, "Answers to prayer often come in unexpected ways. We pray, for instance, for a certain virtue." I've done this in meditation. It's a great way. I've talked to you about it. But God seldom delivers virtues all wrapped in a package and ready for use. Rather, he puts us in situations where by his help, we can develop those virtues. So another way of looking at the things that challenge us in life is as an opportunity to expand our limited thinking, ideas, and concepts that are holding us back from having the most beautiful relationships with friends and family, with spouses, with our kids, with our colleagues. Rumi, the Sufi poet and mystic, this is probably my favorite quote of his, and I used it last week and I'll use it again. Beyond our ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. Meet me there. And just finally, I have one other quote, and I guess it's Mark Twain, and then I want us to begin to settle and do our practice. It's not what we know that gets us into trouble, it's what we know for sure. So that may not be exact, but that's the essence of another quote. It's not what we know that gets us into trouble, it's what we know for sure. So thankfully, there are many opportunities of people who have explored and have a method of helping us release ideas that no longer serve us. In fact, they may be harming us. And we, from the Course in Miracles, are often innocent in our ignorance. So if these ideas are so special and important to us, how the heck do we let them go? Some of them feel like the fabric of our very being, and letting them go might be actually terrifying, because if I don't have that to hang on to and believe, what have I got? Well, let's see. I do know that this practice called meditation helps us let go. It opens us in ways we can't really imagine. And it is a practice. So whether you're sitting in a chair with a straight back and a firm seat, or if you are able to sit cross-legged on a cushion, close your eyes and just begin to observe your breath. Noticing the cool air at the surface of your nostrils. And warm air leaving your nostrils. Be sure to relax your face by separating the surfaces of the biting teeth, allowing your lips to part ever so slightly. With your eyes closed, sitting as tall and straight but not rigid. Shoulders over top of hips. Head centered between your shoulders. Notice the expansion of your rib cage, both front, side, and back. In the seated position, your belly doesn't expand as much as it will in the lying down position, but ensure that it's soft. So by focusing our awareness either on the breath and cool air at the nostrils going in or warm air going out, we give the mind something to do. Or perhaps focusing on the body. And if you notice any discomfort, practice compassion with yourself and modify whatever the position is that may be causing any discomfort. The nature of the mind is to wander. And in that wandering, it will string a bunch of thoughts and ideas and spin them into a story. And that can all happen without you even being aware of it. The mind can be compared to an iceberg, where 9/10 of that iceberg is below the surface, and only 1/10 of it is visible. That's kind of like our minds. So this subconscious and unconscious aspect of our minds is where a lot of these ideas and concepts live. It's their home. And we're not going to try and evict them. They've served us. They may still serve us. And there's so much more that can help us to be present, peaceful, and feel potent if we can open up to what Deepak Chopra describes as infinite potential and possibility. What would our day look like if we could be calm, if we could experience equanimity no matter what we've been told, hear, read, or think we know, especially for sure. Letting go of our ideas and concepts are like taking a trip, traveling lightly, rather than schlepping heavy bags, struggling to get to the next place, or worried that our stuff could be in any way taken away from us. When in fact, the most essential things are inside of us. Neatly packed, possibly wrapped up, and waiting for us to discover them. The gifts of meditation are beyond our present thinking and imagination. Being aware of being in your body, being aware of when your mind wanders. In fact, the moment you notice, you become present. So congratulate yourself. And remember, meditation does not involve striving for anything. It's simply a matter of being, stopping and dropping. Know that your ego would rather be right than happy. The ego, my ego and your ego are probably not getting off on meditation. And it's because the ego and meditation don't really live with the same ideas or values. And by the way, it's not about getting rid of our egos. We can't. It's just learning how wily and convincing, if not conniving, our egos can be. It's their job. Our job is to be aware. Meditation is a practice that cultivates awareness, presence, non-judgmental awareness. There's a mantra, so hum. Mantras are silent, yet evoke great powers. So hum, I am that. Hum so, that I am. The idea of letting go of I and the self is a huge concept, not one to think about, because there's no way we can think ourselves out of that concept. To trust in the process, to inhale silently so, exhale, hum, also silent. So, hum. In this place of non-striving, of non-doing, our cup is emptied. It will be filled again and again. You are learning how to empty it. When we practice yoga, we release tension, stress, and we create some space. In meditation, we're also releasing tension and stress. Opening up unlimited possibilities and potential for living in grace, gratitude, wonder, curiosity. It's childlike. And don't we marvel when we spend time with a child who is not firm in ideas and concepts, but rather in being open to experience all that is. Eckhart Tolle speaks to the isness. It just is. So without labeling, without describing, just being with what is. And in the space that you create through meditation, eventually what will unravel is something of profound beauty and understanding of what it means to be human, of what it is to receive a human birth, the magnificence of it all. Bring your hands together, pressing palms and fingers, and vigorously rub them, generating heat and warmth. And then cup your palms over your eyes, bathing them in this blue-black warmth. And wash the sides of your face. And I have one more reading. Stretch your legs out if you need. This poem is by a very famous poet named Mary Oliver. You may have heard of her. It's called The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last? And too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Thank you for taking time out of your precious day and life to join all of us together to practice stopping and dropping. Namaste to Ross, to Lori, to Paula and Anna, and my tech guy. Have a beautiful day, everyone.